Welcome, welcome. Mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Learn. Period. So if you do not presently like what you are doing, you have to learn a new way. It is simple. Angela, if it was so easy, everybody would be doing it. I did not say it was easy. I said it was simple in its comprehension. And the reason why it is simple in its comprehension is so it can be easily applied. If you look in the mirror and you say, look, I don't like how I behave here. Because I told you last week, I tend to be like Hulk. Then they were asking him, well, what's your secret? And he goes, I'm always angry. I tend to run in that direction when it comes to injustice, when it comes to just things. I get riled up. And I say, Angela, I don't like that. I just want to be able to see something and not get riled up by it. So I start to practice. Sometimes I can go for a whole hour and not get angry at something I've heard on the radio. And this is partly why I don't like the radio being on at work. Because it's just, ugh. And so other times I sit there and I seethe and I'm like, ah. And I'm like, you know what? You got to snap out of that, girl. Come on. So this is how you practice. You just simply look at what you're doing. And if you don't like it, what would you prefer your behavior to be? And remember, there's a pattern that's going to form. It's just that you've been doing that one thing for such a long time. You don't beat yourself up about it. You don't browbeat yourself. You don't insult yourself. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why can I never learn this? But what one does instead is practice patience, because that's what you do when you are learning something. You must have the patience, because the moment you get angry, oh my God, why can't I do this better and faster? Now you shut off the pathway of learning. You don't learn it and you remain as you are. But if you take your time and you say, okay, I'm practicing a new way. Pay attention. When you catch yourself not practicing what it is you said you wanted to practice, stop what you're doing and start practicing that way, because it will become a habit for you. Because remember, you cannot sustain the mood, but you make a habit of the mood so that you can constantly go there. I trust that this is making sense today, because it is imperative that we get it. You see, we only see what's right in front of us sometimes. But the reason why we learn these things and learn this way of deliberate, it's funny because I teach it all the time at the store. Because if you have a points card, you collect points, right? Oh, I love to collect points. that's I do. I love to collect them, but you got to spend money to collect points. But this one guy came in and he said, oh, it's been at $10 forever. Why can't I scan my card all the time? Why doesn't it ever change? Isn't it working? I said it works, but you're just not being deliberate about it. He goes, what do you mean? I said, come. And I showed him. I said, when you're shopping, you're buying things. Look at the label. The label will tell you this thing that you always buy has points attached to it. So if you're going to buy it anyway, get the points. It also will inspire you to try something new because you look at the points and you go, I've never tried that before, but I want those points. Let me try this. Next thing you know, you might like it and you earned the points. Being deliberate about what you do brings about a particular outcome, which is to accumulate points. And when I tell people, oh, you earned this many points tonight, they're like, what? I didn't see that. I'm like, you picked it up off the shelf. The label was there. You didn't see the label. She's like, well, no, I always get it. I always buy this thing and I just never pay attention. I said, that's the point. I said, next time you go to the shelf, look at what you're doing instead of just doing it. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to try that. I said, I'll be here. It's the same. It's the same principle. It doesn't just happen in one area of your life. It happens in all areas of your life. All of them. Right? So it's just a matter of practice, and be faithful to the practice. Because why would you be faithful to the practice? Because you get better at what you practice. You get better at what you get better at what you practice. I saw this little boy. He's from Barbados, and he was playing the Barbadian national anthem on the violin. And people were like, oh my God, how amazing. I'm like, no, it's not amazing. He practiced. Do you know how? Listen, when you first start playing violin, it's like wild cats or fingernails on a chalkboard. It is not a beautiful sound when you first start. His poor mother, I'm telling you, it was not beautiful when he first started. But because he remained faithful to the practice, we on the outside are listening and we're like, oh my God, you make it look so easy. It looks because he practices. That's it. No pomp, no ceremony, no fuss. If you practice, you become awesome at what you practice. So your magical powers, if you want to call it that, lays in what you choose to practice. Good, bad, or indifferent. It does not care what you practice. The principle of rhythm does not care what you practice. It doesn't. It just simply says, practice and you'll be awesome at what you practice. So then choose. See, now when I say to you, Deuteronomy 28, I put before you life and death, choose life, you'll understand what that means. You're always going to have to make a choice. And the choice that you make, if you are deliberate, you will make that choice based upon the desired outcome, the thing you want to experience. This is the way of life. That's just what we do naturally. So today, there's a change. You want to change something. You want to grow in some fashion. What is the outcome? That's where you start. Well, if you're going to garden, you garden based upon what you want to eat. So that's what you planned. So start at the end. What do you want to experience? What is the attitude you would like to walk through the day with? That's where you start. And you start by practicing that attitude. Remember, you practice that attitude, you will go back to that attitude more than you do anything else. Habit. Autopilot. This is why someone can look perpetually happy and not be, because they practice being joyful. What is the joy, though? The joy is the knowing that what I practice, I become. That's the joy. Think about it for a minute. You look at your life, you say, "Oh my God, I don't wanna do that anymore." What are you gonna do? Complain that you don't want to do it anymore? Or choose the new behavior and practice that? But you see, sometimes we can be impatient. One of the best ways of learning patience is gardening, because you can't rush that. Every vision has its appointed hour. It will ripen, it will flower. If it be long, wait. It will not be late. Habakkuk 2 verse 3. People say, "Oh my God, but why would you use the Bible?" Because the principles are in it. It just simply shows you how to apply it. It says it has its appointed hour. So when lady gets all broody and I give her an egg to sit on, a fertilized egg, that's going to take 21 days. I can't rush it. I can't make it slow down. There's nothing I can do but wait. But I'm not waiting hopefully. I am waiting with the knowledge that it will hatch because it's been fertilized. It'll hatch. That is the knowing. That is the joy that a fertilized egg is going to hatch if she sits on it for 21 days. Inevitable outcome. Just as inevitable that he is going to crow at some point this morning. I don't know when, but he will, because that is his nature. It has its appointed hour. So it's quite like what we do with babies. "Oh my God, but my baby's taking so long to walk." It has its appointed hour. You cannot compare it to someone else's baby. But if you think that appointed, and see, so when you watch and you observe and you see that this appointed hour, you're like, "Wait a minute, something is not quite right." Why is that? Because we're bipedal. We got 2 feet. We get up and we walk eventually. But if we don't get up and we walk, then something is amiss. Simple observation. And when you observe, you apply. So what is that thing, that burr in your saddle, that bee in your bonnet, that thorn in your paw? What is it today? It doesn't matter what it is. It could be smoking. It could be drinking. It could be whatever it is. It could be work. What is it? You know what it is. And if you say, "I don't want to do that anymore," that's fine. That's a great place to start. Acknowledging where you are is a great place to start. Well, step 2 is, what do you want to be doing? You have to choose something. Because if you do not make a choice, you will continually do what you do because everything moves. Nothing stands still. So you can't say, I don't know. You do know. Perhaps you might be afraid. Or perhaps you might think, well, this is far-fetched. I can't do this. Thereby keeping yourself right where you are. You're not taking a risk. You're not gambling. You are answering the question, what would I be doing in real life if I were the man or the woman I wanted to be? What would I be doing? So if you say, I don't want to do that, well, what would you be doing? Begin to see it in your mind's eye. Well, I'd be doing ... Oh, wait, I'd be doing this. Oh, I'd be doing that. One of them is going to stand out to you the most. Because then you'll make a decision based upon that thing. You'll say, you know what? I'd be doing this for sure. I'd be doing this. But you see, sometimes we're afraid to make a mistake. There is no mistake. It's just a choice. So if you say, well, I thought I wanted to do that. Well then, what would you like to do? Yeah, you had more time to think about it. What would you like to do? What behavior would you like? Then rehearse the behavior. A man came in the other day, a shy young man. And he would kind of sort of look at me, you know? And I said, how was your day? And he looked at me quite by surprise. And I was like, did you have a good day? He's like, you know what? I did. It was a good day. Thanks for asking. I said, no problem. He said, well, how was your day? I said, you know what? It was productive. And I had fun today. And he just opened up ever so slightly. That's the point. Sometimes we are afraid. But we're only afraid of what we're thinking about. That's why we practice. Because when you practice, how can you be surprised when you do what you practiced? It didn't just come out of nowhere. You practiced it. So there's no surprise. So what do you want to be? Start practicing that. And remember, it always begins invisible. Nobody knows you want to make a change. So nobody knows what you're practicing. It's invisible. Until you've practiced it so much, invisibly, that it what takes on form and you do it. And with that, my beautiful friends, let me welcome everyone into the space. Yes? Let's start with Twitter, because Twitter is as Twitter is. Tumbleweed, I gotta stop calling it Tumbleweed Twitter. Because that's why it remains Tumbleweed Twitter. Because I call it that. YouTube. Oh, Cyber is here. Hey, Cyber. Long time stranger. Liza, darling, I see you. Welcome back. Welcome back, dearest Liza. See, now I say your name. There's a hole in the bucket. There, Liza. You know what? Stop. From Sesame Street. I see you, Liza. Thanks for being here again. Big Mike is in the house. You just popped in. Well, hello. I see you. I see you. Who's here on fan base? Oh, let me scroll. Oh my word. I gotta scroll to see who's in fan base this morning. Ow. Wow. I gotta say it. Ursula. Hello, darling. I see you. It is good to see you. Oracle Tree House. Hey, girl. I see you. Summer Rose is in the house. Hey, Casey, my sweet. And we have the other Michael. See, we got two Michaels in the house. We got the sweet Miss McQueen. I see you. My hardworking girl, I see you. Beautiful ones. Hello. Welcome to the space, love. Welcome. Ray Ray. My ever political Ray Ray is in the house. Moon and Dolphin Duck. Oh, dearest Tiffany and Javion, you must tell him hello from me. How tall is he now? Ah, listen, it is so spectacular to see all of you. And if you look at my PTR, yes, my Roo is in a bag. He's in a purse. He is. That's what he was yesterday. I'll put him in it again today when I get home. But practice. I watch my son because Biscuit is the youngest chicken in the house now, Biscuit. And Biscuit is he doesn't like to be, I keep saying I don't know what it is. I'm rooting for a girl, but I don't know what it is. Biscuit doesn't necessarily like to be touched or picked up. And I've noticed that with hen hatched eggs, that's usually what happens. Incubator eggs, when they hatch, oh, they want to be touched, but not hen hatched eggs. And he says, but Ma, you got to be patient with Biscuit. You just can't snatch Biscuit up, which is what I do. I will chase that chicken till I catch it. That is not the way. But I watch him because Biscuit is learning to come downstairs. He comes downstairs now, which is not what I want. And when he comes downstairs, I said, Noah, can you just usher him back upstairs before I lose my cool? And he just is so patient. Biscuit will let Noah touch him, pet him. And Noah just lights right up and he smiles real big. And I'm like, oh, great, now you're the chicken whisperer. Patience is required. Patience is required. Because they're not like Lil Bit. Lil Bit doesn't walk. He will hop or I have to carry him. So he's always in my arms. So I just expect that Lady and Biscuit are going to want the same thing. And they don't because they're not like him. See, this is why one does not compare. But I do it. So I got to remember. And Noah says, Ma, you just can't you got to take your time with them, Ma. And I'm like, you do it. And so he does. And Lady will now stand there and let him pet her. And every time, the only time Lady will run and come to me is if I have treats. But not with him. She will go to him because he has put in the time. He's put in the time. The principles are a way of life, not a fad. And they are everywhere in your life. And so with that, my beautiful friends, I bid you a most beautiful day. Check your attitude, check your mental mood, and you will know exactly the type of day you are going to have. You'll know. You'll know. And when you catch yourself, you say, I don't do that thing anymore. I do this one now. See? Anywho, let me pop into the chat here real quick. Oh, he's gone to school already? Well, you got to tell him I said hi. Yeah, I see you guys in the chat. Honey. Hey, honey. I haven't seen you in a bit. I haven't seen you in a bit. And it's funny because I said honey yesterday. Because this Barbadian artist, she was drenched in honey. So I was like, oh, she's in honey, is she? And now here, look, here's honey. How you doing? It's good to see you. So remember, it is a way of life, not a fad. Not a fad at all, but a way of life. And if we practice, we know the outcome of practice, do we not? And if you know the outcome of practice, then practice because you know the outcome of practice. Not because you want something, but because you know the outcome. And what is the outcome? Success. So do you chase success? Or do you practice? Oh, oh my. Anywho, I love you. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, a little bit so quiet today. He's so quiet today. He's probably still sleepy. It was a lot of work being in that purse yesterday. Anywho, go forth and know and apply. Much love to you all.